What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel where we talk about the golf learning curve, building out your skills, fundamentals, and doing things that can help you play better golf for the long term. Sustainable skills. All right, today I want to talk about the backswing. We're essentially building this channel from the ground up, just as if how I would build a golf swing. We start with the fundamentals. We start with good movement. So set up well, move like a golfer. Now it's time to continue to talk about moving like a golfer and how we can put the club on a pathway, return to the ball in a repeatable manner. We're talking swing path, we're talking vertical backswings. Most errors come when players get the club too far inside, and then from there it comes up here and it comes out. You've all seen that move if you've played enough golf, if you've watched enough golfers. We're gonna talk about how to do the opposite and how to start building your swing path so we can return the sweet spot of the club to the ball more consistently. And that's a lot of what creating a predictable golf shot is about. It's about hitting the middle of the club face, delivering the club on a functional path, and creating a divot that's in front of the golf ball. Creating turf interaction that's in front of the golf ball. Yes, it's different with a driver, and if we want to talk about that, let me know in the comments. We'll do driver stuff later. Today, we're talking about how to get yourself a better backswing so you're setting yourself up for success. Now, in previous videos, I did the takeaway video. That's important. I'm going to link that below if you haven't seen it. But basically, we should be able to get to here with some good body turn in the club face in a decent position. Now, from that point, where does the club go? What should it look like, and what's the best way to set yourself up for success? That's what we're going to dive into right now. I'm going to grab one of my favorite little training aids. It's good for demonstration, and we're going to talk swing path. All right, check this out. Any of you can make these. It's basically just an alignment rod stuck in the back of the club. No, you will not ruin your grip. You will not ruin your club. Now, that being said, I really like this for demonstration purposes and as well for visual purposes. A lot of people learn better when they can get specific feedback as to what they're doing, what that swing feel might change like, and that's what adding something like this to your repertoire does. So let's check it out. Here's what I want you to do for your backswing. We're gonna start with those same takeaway feels where we get the body turning, but from that point, what I want you to do is to continue to turn. In fact, our shoulders are gonna feel like they're fully turned here, and then we're gonna make this thing very vertical. Almost straight up and down, depending on how bad your habit is. In a perfect world, we're gonna play golf from anywhere here, where that club's dissecting my bicep, to slightly above that, and that club face is gonna start to point back towards the camera. And this wrist position here is going to be relatively neutral. I want you to check that out. Yes, there are golfers that play with a wrist position that's a little more like this, and that's okay too, but what you have to understand at some point is that that wrist needs to rotate. So if you don't rotate it early, you have to rotate it later. And you can play golf either way, you just have to make a decision there. And if you're a club face rotator, maybe you have your wrist in a little more extended type position. If you're not a club face rotator and that's something that's difficult for you, maybe your club face is in more of like a Dustin Johnson-esque type position where that wrist starts to even bow a little bit. And if you ever have a question about how does that look relative to impact, just bring yourself down to impact without manipulating your club face. And right there you can see that's pretty darn square. So what I like as a drill here is I like using something like this as a visual. I like practicing making that club vertical. That's also really good for me, my tendencies to want to get here. So we're going to get the club vertical and then we're going to practice swinging with it. Now, as we grab a club, we're just going to work those feels. We're going to work whatever we feel into our golf swing. And I just wanted to mention this. Feels are very personal. So when you're making those swings, you want to find a feel that works for you. What do you feel? Is it in your right arm, your left arm? Is it in your legs? Is it in your wrists? Find a feel that works for you. First and foremost, what I say I would feel is that when I get back here, I feel like my wrist is bent backwards. I feel like it's pointing almost towards that camera, and that helps make it very, very square for me. My arms are also extended. I'm not starting to break this down. I'm not getting any of this chicken wing stuff going on. My arms are extended. My wrist is pointed back towards you. That's a really good feel that gets me into position, but again, you gotta find a feel that works for you. Now let me grab a golf club and we'll continue this. All right, so you've done some reps with the drill, you've got an understanding of what your feel should be like, and now how do you work that into your golf swing? How do you start to build that into your swing? You wanna start with a pace that's sustainable for you, and as a rule of thumb, you wanna be successful first. And what I mean by that is you wanna go slow enough so you can be successful. I need to go really, really slow in the beginning To be successful, that's what I need to do. If I can go slightly faster, that's okay too. But we want to start at a speed at which you can be successful, and then we can ramp our way up with our speed. If we're trying to make a change, you should be successful first, and then ramp up your speed as you gain comfort. Also, having a measurable feedback device is really important. Having a mirror, having a video, having a friend that can frame up an iPhone video for you. Check and adjust, that way you can confirm what you're doing. But what I would do, and something you could do too, is you can hit some little freezers where you swing back, club shaft is vertical, and then from there I'm just going to continue to turn and hit some shots. And what I would say too is that if you're making a technique change, try to take your focus off your ball flight and just focus on your technique. You can circle back to your ball flight later, but first and foremost, we want to change our technique because we're trying to do what? We're trying to play the long game here. We're trying to build sustainable skills. So focus on your technique, circle back to your ball flight, be successful first. And as a rule of thumb, a lot of players get their backswing too far in here. It's a really common mistake. So practicing having a more vertical takeaway is a really good thing for a lot of players. But you got to know what's important for you, and you got to use things like video to check your golf swing. At the end of the day, it's about getting to know your swing, getting to know your goals, and then making educated decisions around that. At the end of the day, we want to play better golf. Most of us want to play better golf. We want a more repeatable golf shot. Most of us want a more predictable curve so we understand where our ball's going. And creating a stronger swing path is a more effective way to get the sweet spot of the club to the ball in a consistent manner. And do me a favor, if you have any questions about this stuff, drop them in the comments. I'm happy to answer. Let's build out those skills. It's 2020, folks. There's no reason you shouldn't play the best golf ever this year. We have more tools, more resources, more technology than we've ever had in the game. It's time to put the work in. It's time to make better decisions and continue to work towards your goals. All right, you guys, that's a wrap on another video. I want to thank you for being here. Do me a favor, if this is something that you're into, subscribe and hit the bell. Do so in the name of better golf. Do so in the name of long-term trajectory. And I will catch you back here on the next one.